If you're 40 years old and your bank account is empty, do not tell me you had bad luck. Do not blame the economy, the system, or your boss. Face the reality. You made a mistake. A massive, compounding mistake. Having nothing at 20 is a blank slate. Having nothing at 40 is a catastrophe. It means that for 2 decades, your economic engine ran every single day, but generated zero surplus value. You consumed every single grain of harvest you produced. It sounds brutal, but the market doesn't care about your feelings. It is a scoreboard that never lies. If you have no savings at this stage of life, it isn't just a liquidity problem. It is proof that your cognitive model, your self-discipline, and your lifestyle choices are fundamentally broken. Society loves to soothe you with gentle lies about living in the moment. That is financial poison. Today we are turning off the background music. You lost the first half of the game. If you don't want the second half to be a complete tragedy, you need to sit down and learn the lesson you should have learned 20 years ago. Let's address the first excuse, that you don't make enough. Really? Think back to your 20s. You earned a fraction of what you make now, and you survived. Today, your income has doubled or tripled, yet you still live paycheck to paycheck. Where did the money go? It was devoured by lifestyle inflation. You fell for the classic illusion that a higher income demands a higher cost of living. You traded the subway for a car lease, a studio for a mortgaged house, and cheap coffee for premium subscriptions. Your expenses climbed at the exact trajectory of your salary. No matter how fast you ran, you left no surplus. I see this everywhere in the American middle class. People living in pristine suburbs, driving luxury SUVs, putting their kids through private schools, looking like winners. In reality, they are 3 missed paychecks away from total bankruptcy. 1 corporate restructuring, 1 medical emergency, and their house of cards collapses. That is not wealth. That is high-income poverty. True wealth is not what you spend. It is the capital you retain, the deferred gratification you trade for future autonomy. If you are 40 with nothing saved, you lost a 20-year war against your own impulses. The most devastating cost of this failure is not the material things you can't buy. It is the time you threw away. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, but it requires a runway. $10,000 saved at 20 can easily compound into hundreds of thousands by retirement. That same $10,000 saved at 40 is worth a fraction of that. The leverage of time is decaying rapidly. You were supposed to plant a forest, but you ate the seeds. Now you stand in a barren landscape at 40, realizing the trees cannot grow fast enough to outrun your aging body. You made a mathematical error. You underestimated early accumulation and overestimated future earning power. You assumed your prime earning years would last forever. But after 40, professional obsolescence accelerates, while expenses aging parents, children's college, healthcare, compound exponentially. You are entering the most vulnerable phase of your life completely unarmed. Some will say, I am just unappreciated. The system doesn't value my talent. Let's be honest. In a market economy, your net worth is the score of the value you have provided to society over the last 2 decades. If you have nothing, you are either not as valuable as you think, or you fail to translate your talent into something the market actually needs. The market is cold, but it is honest. If you solve problems, it rewards you. Money is the byproduct of value. If you don't have it, you either did not contribute enough, or you were too lazy, too proud, or too stubborn to adapt. Stop calling yourself unappreciated. That is the armor of the weak. Admit that you coasted, or spent 20 years working on things that did not scale. You drifted down the river of mediocrity, and now you have run aground. Having no savings at 40 means you have no dignity. At this age, you should have the right to say no. When your employer asks you to compromise your ethics or demands endless overtime, you should have the leverage to drop your resignation on the desk and walk out. But you can't. You have a mortgage, a car payment, and credit card debt. If you don't show up on Monday, your family doesn't eat. You have traded your sovereignty for a paycheck. You are a highly paid hostage. A middle-aged person with zero liquidity is walking a tightrope in a hurricane. A single gust of wind will send you into the abyss. Do you not feel the anxiety when you sleep? That fear is telling you the truth. Invert. Always invert. If you want to know what to do next, look at where your current path ends. Look at the 60-year-olds still working retail shifts just to pay rent. Look at the elderly bankrupted by medical bills, or neglected because they have no financial leverage. That is your future if you do not change. You have 10, maybe 15 years of physical productivity left before you are replaced by younger labor or automation. What will support you then? You are standing on the edge of a cliff, only saved by the momentum of your current job. But gravity always wins. Let that fear wake you up. You no longer have the luxury of wasting a single dollar or a single hour. Is there a way out? Yes, as long as you are breathing. But you cannot afford to go slow. You need financial shock therapy. Cutting back on lattes won't save you. You need structural destruction. First, admit defeat. Accept that your lifestyle for the last 20 years was a failure. Swallow your pride. Ego has no value when you are insolvent. Second, slash your expenses by 50%. Sell the car you cannot afford. Downsize your home. End all non-essential consumption and useless socializing. You are at war with poverty, and soldiers do not go on vacation. Third, save half of what you make. It will hurt. It will feel like a massive downgrade, but that is the price of your redemption. You must use current discomfort to pay for past negligence. While you repair your balance sheet, you must repair your mind. You have no savings because your character could not hold wealth. You must become a student again, just like you should have at 20. Read. Learn skills. Build your leverage. Stop looking at what others drive or where they live. Your only metric now is survival. Tell yourself that you do not deserve luxury until you have built a margin of safety. You do not deserve rest until you have secured your autonomy. This shame-driven drive is the only engine powerful enough to turn a middle-aged life around. It is 20 years late, but starting now is infinitely better than waiting to die in the dark. To those 40 and empty-handed, this is harsh because I refuse to watch you drown. The game is not over. The founder of KFC started at 65. Charlie Munger lost everything in his 30s, including his son, and still built an empire. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Forget the regret. Forget the missed opportunities. Look at the path beneath your feet. Save your first dollar today. Read your first financial statement tonight. Become a disciplined, responsible adult. The climb is steep, and you will walk it alone, but it is your only way out. Start climbing. Don't die at the bottom of the mountain.